Hi, this is David, and this is an unusual video. I've not done this before, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it in the future, but I got a very, very nice comment from a very, very desperate father. I believe it was male, and he mentioned that he and his daughter have talked many times about the insanity of the Mormon church, and she happened to move back to Utah to take care of some family problems or something, and the missionaries knocked on her door, and he, I think, indicated she was having some problems with her son. I don't know if that's a single mom. I suspect it is, but he asked me would I have any advice. He didn't ask me to do a video. He's very kind and very thoughtful, and I could feel the concern that a parent would have for a child entering into the LDS church. Now, let me make my position very, very clear. My videos are not designed to have anyone not join the Mormon church. If people like the things that they know about the Mormon church, good Lord, go get baptized. I don't give a rat's ass. And if you like the Mormon church and you love paying tithing and want to believe the things they say, not the things that they do, then good Lord, stay in it. So I'm not sure those are all the things that this family or father wanted to hear. I don't have an agenda. All I'm doing is expressing that I've been a Mormon for over 50 years. I'm not now. I've resigned. I'm 6 or 8 years out from resigning. And I didn't get excommunicated. So the missionaries who are converting here will say, well, he probably couldn't control himself sexually, and the church has to defend its good reputation. Well, the church doesn't have a good reputation. Anyone that goes on the internet and searches both sides, don't just search anti-Mormon stuff, search Mormon stuff. Make intelligent decisions. Here's what I hear and here's what I feel after resigning from the church and having this parent contact me. I've worked in human services my whole life. It's very hard for me to turn down humans that are having life adjustment problems, the problems of divorce, death, disability. I have an autistic son. He's 26 years old. I have two kids in the house right now. One is ADHD, and she's on medications, and I have a teenager, and I've had quadruple bypass surgery. It might have been because of the teenager. I'm just teasing. Here's the only things that I would say. The Mormon church has a tendency, now, it's a predator, it's not a tendency. They seek out people who are divorced, having financial problems, having relationship problems, rape victims, unemployed people, people who are disenfranchised with their churches and have left for some reason, people who are newly moved in that need their furniture lifted up and need some help, maybe even food storage help from the Bishop's Storehouse or Desert Industries help. You move into Utah, you moved right into a certain ward, into a certain stake. Everybody knows that you moved in. It is no secret. The bishop knows, the stake president knows, the mission president knows, and the mission president sent these missionaries to engage this person. Now, it may seem like it's coincidence and it's God's will. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. Um, when we are desperate, we do desperate things. I uh, I will generally do anything to help another person, and my videos aren't designed pro or con. They're just designed for what I've experienced, and if it helps anybody, great. If it doesn't help anybody, so what? I don't have make money off of it. The Mormon Church is not paying me for saying things. Um, I'm going to say this, and a lot of times, you know, when you're dealing with the public, you're dealing with a lot of assholes and you're dealing with a lot of idiots. And I'm sorry about that. If I was doing my counseling, I would be sitting in my office and maybe speaking to this young lady with the door open and maybe with another female sitting in on the interview. This young lady has been sitting with elders quietly and alone and being interviewed behind closed doors and is being suggested, don't you feel the Spirit? Don't you feel the Spirit? Do you have that burning? That auto-suggestion is one of the main techniques of the Mormon Church to obtain converts. And of course, when you're joining, my God, these young people are beautiful, they're well-mannered, the sister missionaries are so sweet, and the elders are people that appear that you can trust. Well, I just did a video 15 minutes ago in Ireland that a missionary converted a young girl, 15, 14, and had sex with her, and then fled to the United States to avoid prosecution. So they put on a very clean and good show. And most of us have a certain amount of judgment. We go, gee, you know, they're not wearing tattoos. They don't wear weird clothes. They look like business people, and they're out here sacrificing their lives for me. Well, here's what I would say. Desperate people do desperate things. If you're vulnerable, you're not in a relationship, you're heartbroken, or you're divorced, or you're estranged, and you have parents that are saying, you know, we're not going to support you if you become a Mormon. Boy, that's another reason to become a Mormon, so that you can prove to your parents they're not going to run your life. Well, I'm only going to share, hopefully, because I know these videos are public, what I think you should consider. First of all, there's no hurry. The Mormon Church has been there 178 years. There's no hurry that you join today or next week or set a baptismal date. The Mormon missionaries are basically supervised by super salesmen, people who have been, like myself. I sold for New England Life in Massachusetts, and I was a $1 million roundtable member, which most insurance agents never become. It's a very elite, high group of people who know people and know how to close. Know how to close. I was taught that after I gave a presentation, my sentence would be basically, do you have any objection? Do you have any objection? That word is designed for people not to say, well, I didn't say, do you have any questions? I didn't say, do you have any ideas, or do you have any suggestions? I said, do you have objections? And most human beings will not object. And once you get a person to say yes once, you're close to getting their check. Yes twice, you get the checkbook out, and you start having to make it out for $200 or $300 for, you know, a life insurance policy. And when you say, don't you feel good about this, you're auto-suggesting, and they say yes. Now they're sold. Now they're sold. Okay, and you can walk out of the house with that check, and you've made a sale. I know what I'm talking about. I was on the $1 million round table. Look it up on the computer. I know sales. And I know these Mormon missionaries. I know the MTC. I was never a missionary myself. I'm not trying to put out to anybody that I was a missionary. I'm saying I've been down to the MTC. I've studied. I used to drive bus for BYU. And I put on thousands of missionaries, taking them to the MTC and to the temple down in Manti before they built Provo Temple. So I have some experience in this area. There's no hurry. They are trained to close. To close. Well, if you feel good, maybe 2 weeks from now on the 24th, would you be having an objection, or do you think it's the Lord's will that we go ahead and baptize you? And you go, well, yeah, I guess. And you're not really sure, but when they come back, they're there to close again. Well, we're looking forward to the 24th. We've invited several people, and the ward is just really excited. Well, now you're in a situation where you go, well, gee, I was thinking of backing out, but, If everyone's invited, I don't want to be a wet noodle. So basically, my advice is this to anybody that's taking a look. Don't let the Mormon church set your agenda. You set your agenda. You decide when and if you want to get baptized. You have an obligation to study. And when you've got two people sitting across from you or standing above you, making you pray, teaching you to pray for the things they think are important, and reading scriptures that you've never even seen before, and they're reading scriptures, if they're using the book of Abraham at all, they're probably using the book of Mormon, but the book of Abraham has been proved over the last 10 years it's totally false. It's Joseph Smith translated the book of Abraham, and it was totally a fraud. So you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that Joseph Smith was married to two 14-year-old girls, Nancy Winchester and Helen Mar Kimball. Does that sound like a prophet? In 1825 or 1830, the average marrying age, they'll tell you differently, but the true average marrying age in those days was 20 to 23. Joseph was married to 30 women. Did the missionaries tell you that? No. Did the missionaries tell you that 10 of those women were already married to other men? We used to call that adultery. It's probably still do in this country. No, they didn't tell you that. Did they tell you that Joseph Smith had 6 stories about the first vision before it was put in the book that you're reading right now? No. They never told you that. Did they tell you that basically Joseph at the first couple of times never said there were 2 people, there was only one, and it was an angel? Then it grew into Jesus Christ and Elohim and Moroni with the Book of Mormon. I've been on the Hill Cumorah. I'm not talking out of my ass. I've been on the Hill Cumorah. I looked at the hole in Hill Cumorah where the Book of Mormon gold plates were supposed to have been found. I've been to Joseph Smith's birthplace, Sharon, Vermont. I've been to Carthy's jail, where Joseph Smith was shot and killed, most by members of the church that he ripped off. It wasn't a mad Missouri crowd. I've seen it. I saw the well where he fell out the window. Did you know that Joseph Smith shot 2 people through the door with a smuggled-in handgun? Yeah, Oliver got shot in the face and was killed right away. Joseph put the gun through the door and shot 2 or 3 times, killed one and seriously wounded another. Did the missionaries tell you that? No, they didn't tell you. Did they tell you that Brigham Young ordered the stake presidents and the bishop down in Washington County in St. George to intercept a wagon train of Arkansas people that weren't doing anything to bother the Mormons? They're just going through southern Utah, going on to California. The stake president stops the wagon train. He says to the people, we'll let you pass if you give us your guns and unarm yourselves. And so the people believed the Mormons and Brigham Young, and basically they gave up their arms and their ability to protect themselves. And the stake president and the bishops, I think there were 2 or 3 bishops, shot them all, basically in the face, men, women, and children. 120 of them, just killed. Just killed. Did the missionaries tell you that? Did the missionaries tell you that Joseph basically took a girl in? I'm trying to think. I think her name was Fannie Mae. Check me, because sometimes my memory is not the greatest. And she was a orphanage from Canada, and she was in the Smith home. I've been in the Smith home, the mansion house. I've been upstairs. I've seen their bedrooms. I saw where the first temple endowments, which the missionaries have never even used those words. They just say, well, your family can be forever. They're not telling you the whole truth. They're telling you little pieces that sound really good. It's kind of like you want a bite of chocolate and suddenly you turn into a 400-pound elephant. Well, they didn't mention that part, that there's a lot of calories in chocolate. So I've been in the mansion house. I've seen the 2 grave sites, Hiram and Joseph, outside. I've been in the sacred grove where Joseph supposedly saw the angel, or the Jesus Christ and God the Father. Did the missionaries tell you that Joseph quoted Jesus, the most gentle? Now, I'm an atheist. I used to be LDS, And I was a Christian after that, and now I'm totally atheist. I'm not trying to put out to you anything that is anti-Christian. I'm putting out to you the truth of what Joseph Smith said. Joseph Smith said that Jesus told him all of the other churches in the world are an abomination. There's the word. Jesus, would he use the word abomination? You decide. You're joining that church. You ask the missionaries about an abomination. Ask them about 14-year-old girls. Polygamy. Why is it that prophets always get to screw everybody? Their wives, even if they're married, their children, their 14-year-olds. The Mormon church for 178 years or whatever it's been invented polygamy. I live in Utah. I've met some of the polygamists down in Bluffdale, Utah, and I've been to their wards. I've taken their lessons. And they looked at me and I looked at them and I said, you know, this ain't for me. I don't believe it. This ain't for me. I walked out and I left. You have the same ability. You can take a look at the hard facts of the Mormon church and go, what the hell? And why didn't you missionaries say these things to me? Why did you withhold this information? Because for me to make an intelligent decision, I'm a little lonely. I don't have any friends. And you've all been really kind and you've brought over chocolate chip cookies. But you never told me. You kill people. And your prophets, order you to do things that are inhumane. It's craziness. I was at BYU in 1978. Well, I graduated in 1972. But I saw the proclamation, I think it was Kimball, that said the blacks can now have the priesthood. Did you ask the missionaries, how come the blacks couldn't have the priesthood until 1978? They'll go, that's not a question we ask, and we don't know the answer. It's the Lord's way. He's magical. We don't understand. The Lord's ways are not our ways. And these things have nothing to do with your salvation. Here's a cookie. Here's a cookie. Well, the blacks got the priesthood in 1978. That's a long time ago. Watch the Tabernacle Choir. The two that they pay for to sit in the choir, the camera is always on them, making the Mormon church look like they're integrated. Look at the other 200 people. Use your brain. If it makes you happy, for God's sakes, put on those white clothes, let them dunk you in the water, give you cookies, and you'll have socials, and you'll have potluck dinners, and your kids, they'll say, oh, you're having trouble with your kids, have them come to Young Men's Association or primary, we'll straighten that kid out. Well, you're desperate. As a parent, you go, gee, I'll do anything for my kid. Even put him in a cult. So, I have an autistic son. And when I went to the church early, finding his autism at 6 or 7, 8 years old, the church said, we don't take retarded people. We want just the white and the lightsome. Look at the Mormon history of dark skins. Read the Book of Mormon. Go get a Book of Mormon that is 10 or 15 years old at the library. The Book of Mormon, those missionaries are showing you, have redacted words like a dark skin or a black skin as a loathsome and inferior and sinful person. So if you're brown-skinned or black-skinned, historically, the Mormon church has hated those people. Brigham Young, go look it up on the computer. You can't be this stupid. If you are, I can't do anything. I'm just telling you the truth. Go look up on the computer. Brigham Young said, if you marry a black person, that you two should be beheaded and your children should be killed. Go look it up on the computer. I don't think the missionaries told you that. They didn't tell us that. And they'll say, oh, milk before meat, like a child. You got to crawl before you can walk. Well, let me tell you something. The milk they're giving you are lies. They're half-truths. And they're things that you need to take some responsibility for. If you're desperate, you're lonely, and you go, hey, it can't be worse than my life, go for it. Believe me, eventually it will be worse than the life you're living right now. You can make friends, you can find associations, and you can find new mates if you're single. And there are many, many opportunities, but the Mormon church just hand feeds it. Here's what to say, here's what to do. We're going to tell you what to eat, what not to eat, the word of wisdom. Now, let me tell you this. The missionaries haven't told you this, okay? Ask them. Don't be stupid. I can't stop people from being stupid. You know, Ron White said, you can't fix stupid. Just ask the questions. Is it true that you Mormons go to the temple in your church, and that basically before 1990, you promised not to say anything in the temple, and if you did, they were able to slit your throat wide open and kill you, or cut your bowels out and let them fall on the ground? That was your punishment in the Mormon church for making this kind of a video. That's your punishment. Now they've taken the punishments out, and they've said basically, like death do you part, under the penalty of death. But they don't describe cutting your throat and cutting your bowels out. Do you know if you join the Mormon church and you marry a Mormon, your father and your mother can't come to your wedding? The people who have nurtured you, cared for you, took you to school, paid for your dental, paid for you being in the hospital, paid to have your baby, sitting there helping you have your baby, you are going to be required by the Mormons to exclude and shun those people. Ask the missionaries. Do you shun people? They're going to say, oh no, we don't. Let me tell you something. I have 14 children. 2 of them are still in my home, right up there. Right in the house. They're not allowed to even be near that cult. The other 10 shun me. Don't call, don't write, call me an apostate, call me all kinds of evil names, and they've taken me off their Facebook. They won't watch the videos. They won't call on Father's Day, no Father's Day cards, no Christmas. If that's the kind of a human being you are, good Lord, go get baptized. Go get baptized and ruin your life and your children's life and your parents' life. Ask the missionaries these questions that I brought up, because they're true. I've been to Liberty Jail. I've sat in Liberty Jail where Joseph Smith's ass was sitting. Go find out. Why was he in Liberty Jail? Did you know that he was assassinated? He's not a martyr. He wasn't assassinated. He was killed. He was killed because he burned the Nauvoo Expositor newspaper because it was coming out with an article about everybody he was screwing. And he was the mayor of Nauvoo. He ordered the city council to go down, put this place on fire, and destroy it. He went to Carthage jail for that. It wasn't mean Missouri people that put him in Carthage jail. It was his own members of the church. He stole their money. Go ask the missionaries about Kirtland Temple, Kirtland, Ohio. Joseph Smith gave out monopoly money and took real American money from the members, and then his Kirtland Monetary Fund, or Monetary Society, I think it was called, failed. And the Mormons were pissed. Joseph Smith got on a horse and rode out of there like a bat out of hell. He had basically stolen their money. And the Mormons say, oh no, those were the apostates, and those were the wicked people. Satan made him do that. Well, you know what? I would have chased him too if I'd put $10,000 in and it meant nothing. Take a look at Kirtland, Ohio. Take a look at Nauvoo. Take a look at the way he treated people and the things he said and the things that he did. He said that an angel with a flaming sword chased him around his bedroom and ordered him to marry all of these other people, including the 14-year-olds. You believe that? Go get baptized. You're just what they're looking for. You're exactly what they're looking for, because somebody that has common sense will go, what? An angel with a flaming sword? I've been looking for that angel with a flaming sword ordering me to 14-year-old girls. And if he did, I'd say, well, you know, that's against the law here in the United States. Can you show me a couple of 18-year-olds? But Joseph didn't have the balls to do that. He says, that's the reason I married these young girls. Was Joseph Smith involved in abortion? Take a look. William C. Bennett. He was a doctor. It was reported that he always carried an abortion spoon with him, and he was handling the abortions that were coming about from the single women. that Joseph impregnated, and some of those babies have been thrown into the Missouri River. And the women who were married, the laws in the United States say, well, if you're married and you're pregnant, it's a strong, rebuttable presumption, but a strong presumption that it's your husband who is the father of those children. Take a look at this man, Joseph Smith. Take a look at the hatred of the blacks. If you're a female, oh, please, go read about Sonia Johnson, who was in the Relief Society, and she thought that women, I think it was the early 70s, should be having equal rights, ERA amendment. Oh my gosh, the Mormon men went berserk. A woman should get the same money that a man gets? How can we control these women and keep them pregnant and blindfolded in the kitchen? Well, they excommunicated Sonia, and the ERA went through the blacks and the priesthood. The revelation came exactly when the IRS told the Mormon church, you're going to lose your tax exemption. Oh, Jesus comes down and he goes, oh, let the black people be in the church and be baptized and have the priesthood. Well, now it's the damn gays. Now it's the gays. Oh, if you're gay, you know, the Bible says that if you're gay, you're going to hell. We hate the gays. Do you know the Mormons in Proposition 8 in California was 50% of the money collected in California 8 to ban the gays from being able to get married? The Mormon church is heavy into that hate. I live in Salt Lake City area. I live in this area. I see the news. I saw the two young guys that were on Temple Square holding hands. And maybe they kissed. I don't know. I didn't read the entire article. But the Mormon police came after them, escorted them off of the temple grounds, and had the regular police, who had authority to arrest them. There's love. There's Jesus. Use your brain. If you like what I'm saying, good Lord, go get those white clothes on, get in the water, shake hands, have them tap you on the back, and make sure you know about garments. You're going to have to wear garments the rest of your life, so if you have a period, go ahead and handle those tampons and Kotex through the garments, because they have to be up to next to your body. You're not allowed to have underwear under them. You have to have the garment and then underwear. In the same way with your bra, you have to have the Mormon magic underwear against your breast, and then you can put a bra on. For God's sakes, ask the damn missionaries if these things that I'm saying are true. And if they are, maybe they don't matter. Maybe you're the kind of person who goes, I don't care. I'm a loser. I'm going to join with the losers. I'm desperate. I have no money. I have no friends. I have no one to talk to. And these missionaries have been very nice. They've come over. And I'm telling you, from 50 years, half a century. I have 14 children. I worked in the LA temple. I'm not excommunicated. I resigned from the Mormon church. I didn't have any sexual problems that they have a disciplinary council on. I was doing just what you're doing. I'm just reading, listening to people, and suddenly I go, hey, whoa, I don't want my name on that. I don't want my name on that. And I'll tell you what, the tithing that you're going to be paying, maybe you've already paid a little bit of tithing, is going down to build the mall in Salt Lake City. Did the missionaries tell you that the Mormon church is building a $5 billion mall in downtown Salt Lake? And I've been in the Philippines, and I've held children that are dying and do die every day because they have no clean water and no food. I adopted 2 little girls in the Philippines. I'm 64 years old. What the hell am I doing adopting these beautiful little girls that had no opportunity and no chance? The reason I did it is because the Mormon church wouldn't do it. I hope, a heart. I hope I have some empathy and some understanding. And I have a master's degree. I think I mentioned that to you. I've done counseling my whole life. And I'm just telling you the flat out ass truth. If it matters to you, it matters. If the things I've said don't matter to you, for God's sakes, go get on your baptismal clothes. Don't ask the missionaries anything. Just pray and pay. Pray and pay. And you'll have false friends, and you'll have the promises that are empty. I did it for half a century. Enjoy yourself. Good luck.